Hey everyone, welcome back to Tea and Therapy. This video is going to be a slightly different, although I do want to offer a trigger warning. I am going to be talking about some very sensitive subjects in regards to young people. A film that has just recently been released across some cinemas in the United States, and I believe it's gone across to Canada. But I want to talk a little bit about this, and for those of you that might have suffered something like this, or just to raise some awareness to this particular very sensitive subject. So if you want to join me in this discussion, then please sit back. But like I say, just look after yourself. And if you are at any point worried or you feel anxious, just remember you can switch this off. You can come back to it at a later date, or you can just not come back to it at all. The main thing is that you look after yourself. So that being said, let's dive right in. So I don't know if many of you are aware, if you're on other elements of social media, whether it be TikTok or Instagram, and even, here on YouTube, you may have seen that circulating is a film called The Sound of Freedom, and I will put a picture up here. It is a film that's starring Jim Caviezel and is it Mira Sorvino and other people, but it is based around the true story of a guy called Tim Ballard. He is a person that has been very instrumental in working with a lot of agencies in helping rescue children that have been trafficked for various nefarious reasons. Obviously, I've got to be very careful what I say on here because YouTube have a tendency to flag certain words that are being said. So I will try and put things up for you to see if you are struggling to kind of get what I mean. Anyway, this particular film, I haven't seen yet because it's not out here in the UK, and I am wanting to see it, and I would advise anyone to go and see it now. I will also say that this can be very triggering. It is a very hard-hitting, emotionally driven film. It is based on real events, which I think at times can create things to feel a lot worse because we know it goes on. And I think that there's an element where we know this goes on, but to actually see a film that is based around real events is so hard hitting. And I think, so if you are somebody that has gone through something along these lines, or if you feel triggered by anything that's around what's being discussed, then I would say maybe don't watch it, or at least wait till you're not in somewhere public. You can watch it, say, on DVD, or you're with somebody where you're safe, you feel safe. I feel that it's the type of film that to some degree that we must watch, because the way I view this is if these children can go through what they've gone through, be rescued and survive and heal from the atrocities that have happened, if these brave men and women who go into the darkest depths of the human psyche in a way, and go to areas that in a sense risk their lives, then the least we can do is watch and support. Now, even as a therapist, I know that watching this film, it's going to hit me. I know that. I know I'm going to feel, I would defy anyone to watch something that is like this to not feel some emotional response to this. But I want to reach the people that, if you are feeling that, then, like I say, you can step away. If you feel that you're going to have an emotional response going to a cinema, then maybe wait till it comes out on DVD, or you can watch it where you're in the safety of your own home. You've got people that are around you that can support you if you're having a reaction to that. I think the reality to me of this, the shock I suppose I feel, is that being on social media, I see some of the depravity that can go on. And I think when you've got the mainstream media, and not all, some, most, who are not supporting this film, who are not spreading awareness of this film, and in fact are encouraging you not to watch this film, it kind of makes you wonder why. And I think that that is when we start to realise that when you're trying to be silenced in a way, when you're trying to raise awareness, because how can this be a bad thing? You know, when the way the media is coming out, and I will put up here some of the media footage that has been shown, or the posts that have been put out around this film, raising awareness to trafficking of young people, or trafficking of anybody, even if this film was fictional, if it raises awareness because we know it happens, how is that ever a bad thing? It's not. So when you have media outlets trying to discredit people that have promoted this, the directors that have made this film, the actors that are behind this film, then you have to kind of then go, but why? Why are you trying to discredit this? And then it then leads you down that rabbit hole of how far up does this go? How far? How is it ever wrong to protect our children? To protect anyone for that matter? I think I get emotional when I talk about stuff like this, because even though it's on a film, you're seeing, you know, that they're behind that. There are real stories. There are real children that have gone missing. We see it all the time, how children go missing and they're not found, or they're taken for nefarious means. And we're seeing more and more now how the perpetrators are finding ways and means to find a way in, whether it be pretending to be trans. This is the new thing that seems to be coming up, which is not against the trans community at all. And in fact, the trans community do not stand behind this. You know, I know some amazing people that that are in support of the trans community, or who are trans, and they don't support this at all. But the thing is, this is not even about communities now. This is about people that will use communities to infiltrate, whether it be pretending to dress as a woman to go into a female bathroom, restroom. We're seeing it happen, or pretending to be female so they can go into a female prison. And this is the world we live in today. However, I think we can all agree that this is going too far. And when you now have big corporations not standing behind something like this, trying to shut it down, trying to create people to seem, not credible, that's concerning. Where are the big Hollywood A-listers? We've had Mel Gibson come out about this, and he's been discredited, or they've attempted to. And apparently he's doing a 4-part documentary on this. And what's really hard for me is that I want to come on here and I want to be completely open and talk about how I really feel about this type of thing. But sitting here knowing that I'm censored. You know, if I'm having a conversation with one of my friends, I can say whatever I feel. But when you come on a platform and you're talking about this type of thing, what creates it to be worse is that you're having to watch what you say when you want to speak out about this type of thing. How or why have we got into a society where talking about protecting children, raising awareness to what goes on in the world, the depravity that goes on in the world, gets you struck off, gets you demonetized, gets your video taken down. That's the world we live in today, where it's almost the depraved side of the world gets lifted, supported, promoted. But the honest, the decent, the innocent, the vulnerable, the raising awareness gets shut down. So where do we go with that? And I think all we can do is, in our little corner of the world, like for me, it's doing what I can on these channels, you know, whether it be here, Instagram, TikTok, raise as much awareness as we can. Use the voice that I have to help people. And I think for other people, it's going to watch the film, or it's sharing it on whatever platform you're on. So even if you feel that you can't watch that film because it's too triggering for you, and that's okay if it is, but at least share to somebody else and say, hey, you know what? I couldn't go and watch this, but you go watch this. Or what we can do is, there is a website which it's Operation Underground Railroad. And that is run by Tim Ballard, his wife, and the wonderful, brave men and women that go into these places. You can go, you can donate, you can volunteer, there's ways to get involved if you feel that watching the film isn't for you and you want to get involved and you want to help them keep doing what they're doing. That's how we can create some change. And for the people in the media who say that this doesn't help, yes, it does. How can it not? I wasn't aware of how many children were taken. I wasn't aware of the billion-dollar industry that it is, that it outranks this and this. I can't say it. I wasn't aware of that. Was you? So if it creates awareness, if it creates us to stop and think, be more mindful, because watching this film, it shows you the creative ways they try to take children. They go in to countries, cities, towns, etc., where there's been some disaster, whether it be a hurricane, tsunami. They go in and they try to find the children that have been left behind, and they take them. So if nothing else, it raises awareness to how they orchestrate. They set up fake agencies where they pretend to come in and be model agency or a talent agent scout. And they prey on people that are from poorer areas who perhaps are desperate for money. You know, children that feel that without this, they wouldn't have a chance to get out of the situation they're in. That's how vile they are, and that's how meticulous they are in what they do. They go to great lengths. So what it can do is it can create awareness if you're in a situation, and don't ever think that it couldn't happen to you, because I'm guessing a lot of these parents that it's happened to thinks that it would never happen to them. You know, I see, even when it comes to talent agencies, I've seen it, where you'll get some seedy photographer who just wants to take advantage, but they will act as if they can get you up as a model, or they will do those things. And if you're somebody that's naive or is desperate to be seen, you're possibly going to take them up on that. So I think if nothing else, it can create us to be more vigilant and aware. Ask questions. Don't leave your children alone. Even if you turn up somewhere and there's other children sitting there, and you think it's okay. I'm not saying that any of you would, but I think that we all know somebody who's possibly that little bit more naive, or we've seen things happen. You know, what's scary to me is I see things even when I'm on TikTok, and I haven't been on there very long, but I see things on there where you will get people that go on live, and you can see that they're very insecure, or they're very desperate for fame, or whatever it is. And they'll say, you know, oh yeah, come meet me. I'll be there. And they'll give out an address. They don't know who's going to turn up. And a lot of these are younger, like teenagers. You know, TikTok and places like that absolutely need to be more vigilant. But they're part of the problem. And that is why I think we need to share videos like this or others that show this film, or show you that the lengths they will go to take somebody. You know, if you're even a young woman going on holiday, you know, you get approached. I did. I spoke about it on my other channel when I went to Morocco. Thankfully, I was with some friends at the time, but I got approached, and it was a very scary situation. And if it wasn't for the fact that I had my friends with me who were just a little away from me, I could have got snatched. This is obviously a few years ago now. And I'm not saying that Morocco is a terrible place. I'm not saying that. It's a very beautiful country. It has some amazing people. But in anywhere you go, there's always going to be an element that's not. So to be very vigilant and aware, and it's sad that we have to be that way, but that is this is the way of the world now. You know, if you are a young woman and you are walking out and about, even in the UK, be aware of your surroundings. You know, there are things that you can buy online, alarms. You know, if you haven't got an alarm, hold your door key in your hand. You know, have a can of hairspray that you can, you know, a mini can, anything that you can access. Because unfortunately, and it's not just women, it's young men as well too, but mainly I think young women get targeted because I think men think that they can possibly overpower women. You know, learn martial arts, self-defense. You know, be aware of your surroundings, be aware of, you know, if you're going to go out and you want to go drinking, then make sure that you have a pact with your girlfriends or the friends that you're with to not leave you drunk outside of a club, because I've seen that as well, where girls have an argument, or guys have an argument, and they leave their friend because they're angry. You can be angry, but make sure your friend gets home safe first. Don't leave them vulnerable. Because as much as we want to think that we can walk around in this world and we are free to do so, there are unfortunately very scrupulous, unsavoury characters out there that are willing to take advantage of who you are. So going back to this film, I think if nothing else, it does create that awareness. So for these media outlets to be saying, it doesn't help, it doesn't work. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And I think the fact that they're trying to silence this, well, then that makes us shout louder. So let's shout louder. Let's say, no, our kids are not for sale. You don't get to do that. Shine a light in every corner of the world so they don't hide anymore. So I hope this video has helped in some way. Please get behind this organisation. Like I say, even if you sign up, even if you just show your support, share wherever, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, share so they can hopefully get more and more support and donations to keep them going. You know, I think the more we support people like this that are brave enough to go in and do the job that they do, hopefully the more children will get rescued. I will put the link in the description box below of the organisation that you can support. And then what I will say is, I know some of you like to buy me a cuppa. Instead of buying me a cuppa, use that money to go in and give them a donation instead. You know, please go and support them. I've also offered to volunteer for my services. I don't quite know how that's going to work yet, because obviously I'm in the UK. It's predominantly American, so I don't know, but I'm going to work all that out, hopefully. But even if I keep doing sort of videos like this to raise awareness and keep supporting their organisation, then at least that's something. So thank you for listening, and I do appreciate that. And like I say, if you are feeling triggered at all, please just make sure that you're okay. If you want to email me, you can. All of my details are in the description box below. But like I say, please go across and give this organisation, you know, some support. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please think about doing so, as it does help the algorithm, and hopefully it will get me my 4,000 views, which will hopefully then get me monetized, which I would then really appreciate. And I use that then going towards helping people that struggle financially get therapy at either free or very low cost, because they can't afford to go anywhere else. And I work across the world. Obviously, as long as the language is okay, I can pretty much work with anybody. So, and offer those tips and tools to help them in life in general. So thank you so much, and I will see you in the next video. So take care, and I look after yourself. Bye.